Welcome back to my fantasy rankings, picks 6 through 10. But I do utilize the 2024 ESPN Fantasy Football Draft Kit, PPR Top 300 cheat sheet, something that my friends and I use in our draft to kind of keep us on track. Ja'Marr Chase is one of those players that's had a drop off in touchdowns in the last 2 seasons from his rookie campaign, and it's kind of hard to hold him to that standard. That's what we tend to do. You know, if you come out shining and you don't hold that standard for the next couple of seasons, well, we're going to nitpick. And when it comes to fantasy points, touchdowns are a factor. Last season, 16 games, 100 receptions, 1,200 yards roughly. Only 7 touchdowns his rookie season. He had 12, then 9, now 7. That's a drop off every year. His touches have increased each year. He's producing less yards per reception each year as he goes. I don't see them ranking any higher than 25th on the offensive line, and which leads to concern with Joe Burrow and his health. They had a good run with a backup quarterback last season. I'm not saying that can't happen again, but we'd like to see Joe 17 games this year, what this team could really look like. There's also the new offensive coordinator. Now, he was their QB coach last season. I expect them to air it out. They're going to have a running back by committee approach with, I think it's Zach Moss, who was more of a rotational player coming in from Buffalo. They got him on the depth chart starting. They had Chase Brown from last season, who was a great player, who plugged in nicely and had some production. But I don't see this team being one of those teams that are going to grind it out with you. This team and Joe Burrow leading them, if he stays healthy, we could see a lot more Ja'Marr Chase. A little change in offense, not too much change in the offensive line. The backfield has shifted around some, but one thing's for sure, Ja'Marr Chase is a problem. This could be definitely a high second round pick for me. Depends on what your liking is, what you think that team's really going to look like, or how many times he's going to have be able to touch the ball. Again, touches are up. My confidence in him has not wavered. I just think that there are 4 or 5 guys that might be in front of him. Even with an injury-plagued season for them at the quarterback position, 1,200 yards is nothing to frown at. He is a superior player. I expect great things out of Ja'Marr Chase. The next player coming at number 7 on our list is a player who really shined last year for the Detroit Lions, a team that for the last couple of seasons have gained respect in that division. The sure-handed, every down wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. This player, going into his 4th season, has increased his totals in targets, receptions, yards each season significantly. Last year's numbers were 164 targets, over 1,500 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns, and every season that he's played in the league, he's played 16 or 17 games. So he's consistent, stays healthy. I mean, he knows when he's a tough player, but he knows when to get down. He knows when to get out of bounds. Very smart. Now he's going to be Jared Goff's #1 target, just like he was last season. But I'm wondering if, with the emergence of the tight end that Detroit has now, is that going to take away from the targets that St. Brown could potentially receive? Another plus for this team in the receiving game is the offensive line. They've really shored up that position at left tackle with recent signing with a new deal of their left tackle, Taylor Decker. This team has built themselves up the right way, from the inside out. Defensive line, offensive line. They're going to be tough every game. The question is, can St. Brown continue at this pace? They have a balanced approach. They play good defense, so they're always working with a short field. And with that, it really opens up your offense, and you can pretty much do whatever you need to do to get the ball in the end zone. This could be St. Brown's year to really show that he is the #1 receiver in the league. But again, it's all based on how you want to build your team. A lot of approaches I've seen are wide receiver heavy this season, and for good reason. You make the call. St. Brown's a beast. Okay, so for our number 8 player on the list this fantasy season, all-world wide receiver from the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson. In 2023, with a hamstring injury at week 5, and many fans and analysts believe that Jefferson really milked that injury and tried to leverage himself into an upcoming contract year, which may have paid dividends. He just signed a 4-year, $140 million deal that's going to keep him there for a while. Just 10 games last season in a short season, injury-shortened season. He produced 1,000 yards. I mean, that was right at 100 targets. Now, there's always been a question of, is this guy a prima donna? Is he going to mesh with the new quarterbacks this season? Say what you will about Kirk, he usually in the regular season put up pretty solid numbers. Sam Darnold, question mark. J.J. McCarthy, rookie. That Justin Jefferson is a consistent player. When he's on the field, he's dangerous. His yards after catch have really dropped the last couple of seasons. Again, if teams get tape on you, he's going into his 5th year. They're going to try to take away from you what you do best. What Jefferson does best is produce. He is a weapon, and he is going to be there week in and week out, in my opinion, no matter who you put behind center. Our next player on the list at number 9 is the running back from the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor. Now, a couple seasons back, 2021, he had a breakout all-pro season. Over 1,800 yards, 106 yards a game, and 20 total touchdowns that season. Since then, in the past 2 seasons, Taylor has only played 21 games, and in those games he's averaged about 4.5 yards per carry. Now, if you watched him at all after he comes back from his injuries, he still shows the explosiveness. He still looks like that guy from 2021. But much like Christian McCaffrey in years past, he has a hard time staying on the field. Now, again, when he is on the field, the production is there, the touches have been there. What we haven't seen is the combination of the QB, Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, with the new offense that Shane Steichen, former Eagles offense coordinator, is going to be bringing in. What that's really going to look like. If it looks like anything they did with Jalen Hurts, the running back position wasn't heavily prevalent in that offense. I just have to believe that we might see the same type of results. They're going to be playing a lot of RPO. Unless they do something drastically different in Indianapolis than they did in Philadelphia, which I don't see that happening, that Jonathan Taylor takes another notch down in the running back category. Nothing against him as a player, but I think in this style of offense that they're going to be utilizing him in, that he's just not going to get the touches that he was used to seeing. But taking Taylor in the top 10 to me is hazardous. I think there's just way more players at the number 9 position that are safer bets. This is an unproven situation, and I don't feel comfortable at 9. I say he drops. At the number 10 spot in this week's list is Saquon Barkley, the Philadelphia Eagles. Will it be new team, Same old Saquon, inconsistent. Now, if you look back at his 2022 campaign where he earned, and rightfully so, he earned Comeback Player of the Year. He's a hard worker. He is a grinder. He has been accused of maybe too much effort, which resulting at one point in a lot of turnovers. So again, in 14 games, it was less than 1,000 yards, only 6 touchdowns, but he's always a threat out of the backfield in the receiving game. There were dropping targets, obviously. They were rotating a lot of other players in with the situation there that the Giants were having. With Kellen Moore coming in as the Eagles' new offensive coordinator, and you looking back at his previous years with the Dallas Cowboys in the early days with Dak and Zeke and all the success that they had with the play action, motion, a very balanced attack. Where Kellen Moore earned most of his success with Dallas, he was unable to capture that same success with the Chargers due to the lack of a running game. Austin Eckler stayed injured a lot, and they were rotating a lot of different running backs into the game. I see them taking a very balanced approach in Philadelphia this season. With the talent there at the quarterback position, the wide receivers are a group of all pros. If Saquon Barkley gives us a glimpse of what he offered in 2022, this team could make a run to capture the NFC this season. There's always that question mark with Saquon. He's so explosive. You just almost wait for something to happen with him. It's never been a lack of effort. It's never been a lack of preparation with him. Very unlucky, some of the things that's happened to him in the last, previously 3 or 4 seasons ago, where he just couldn't stay on the field, and which is a bad situation with New York. A lot of us fantasy guys, we root for him. We pick him high in each draft, and there has been a certain letdown. So pick at your own risk, but taking him at 10, I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. Again, it's sight unseen. If you choose him in a 10-man league as your number 1 pick, there might be a lot of question marks that come along with that. So there you have it. Picks 6 through 10. Stay tuned for my next group of 5. Should be getting that out in the next couple weeks.